Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. It's the international break and it wouldn't be the international break without a player speaking out of turn against their manager or club, and we've certainly got it here, but not the Ramsdale you may have thought. It's actually his dad who's been doing a podcast who has blasted Mikel Arteta for the treatment of his son. But there's more layers to it than this. What he's basically saying is that the fans and the club and Aaron himself are getting behind David Raya, and it's not actually his fault, but the way that Arteta has treated him is not the way that Aaron Ramsdale's father thinks it should have been done. It's been wrong, and it's been done wrong in the eyes of Aaron Ramsdale's dad, who basically is saying that his son has lost his smile when he was holding on to the ball, and it's difficult. It's difficult to see him in that situation. Now, any Arsenal fan will tell you that since Aaron Ramsdale's come to the club, he's been a breath of fresh air. He's been very animated. His father's always there watching him, and it's been a bit of a match day continuity for Arsenal fans to see that relationship and see the dad, so involved in his son's relationship. Now, this is not something that Arteta has not been under fire for before. Numerous pundits, I think, we've heard them on the radio, we've seen them on the TV saying that they're not happy about the way Arteta has dealt with this. It's really interesting. Where do you stand on this? Get your comments in. Where do you stand on Aaron Ramsdale's dad actually coming out and doing something like this? We saw Harry Maguire's mum on the last international break coming out speaking about her son. Aaron Ramsdale now. I mean, this is just parents protecting their children at the end of the day. But how would you feel about this? Does it do you any favours as a player? Ultimately, what it does is it gives a bit of sympathy from a parent to their sons who play football. But do people have sympathy for it? Is it better to say nothing? Well, I can't be a hypocrite on this. I'm somebody who talks about football. You're people who talk about football, whether you put your comments in or you're recording a video. So, of course, the parents and family members and friends have a right to speak. I'm not going to say that they don't. It's the impact it has by them speaking. And look, Aaron Ramsdale's father is basically saying that, look, this doesn't look like it'll be a loan deal. It looks like Aaron Ramsdale's the cup goalkeeper and David Raya is the number one goalkeeper. And although that's not been conveyed to his son, they just have to get on with it. Raya's a nice guy and everyone's got to get behind him and support him. What Aaron Ramsdale's dad's basically saying is that Arteta's handled it badly, in his opinion, but Ramsdale's got to get on with it and David Raya needs support. And maybe this will be the end of Ramsdale at Arsenal. So you can get them not feeling great about it. But you know what? My opinion is that I think Aaron Ramsdale's dad has got a right to say that. I mean, he knows Aaron Ramsdale. He's going to be obviously very concerned about his career at the moment and how he feels at the moment. He's got every right to convey that. It's 2023, and that's just the way the world we live in. What I would say is I completely understand that. I think if it was, can you imagine, 20 years' time, my son's playing in goal for Arsenal or Man United or wherever, and he gets dropped. I'm not going to sit there and be quiet, am I? I'm going to do a bloody video on it if I'm still here. So I get that, and I'm not going to criticise it. And I actually thought the way his dad spoke about Raya and said we need to get behind him was really mature. But I do stand with Arteta. As much as I understand that, and as much as I understand Ramsdale will feel bad, I do stand with Arteta because he's done a fantastic job at Arsenal. And if he thinks Raya, who is a different type of goalkeeper to Ramsdale, we have to say that, when you break it down, Arteta prefers Raya to Ramsdale. Well, it's only like being in a relationship and then you're down the local disco and you see something better and you're just being honest. You're going, I prefer that. We had a good time, but I prefer that. They like me. It's over. It's harsh on the person you dump, but you're being true to yourself and honest instead of being a fake. I do respect Arteta for what he's done, and I don't have a problem with Ramsdale having a problem with it. He is a victim of it, and obviously his family are going to be, stick with him. I get that. I've got total respect for that. But where I do think it's unfair on Arteta is the media pile on, because I think the media, as I said at the weekend with Trippier arguing with the Newcastle fan, if that was Bruno Fernandes arguing with a fan, it would be dealt with differently. And because David Raya is a foreign goalkeeper and Ramsdale is an English keeper and this is an English league, I think you're going to get that pile on because obviously English league, English journalists want to protect the English player. I do get that, but there is a bias there. Whether it's conscious or not, there is a bias. And I'm here to say, what is Arteta guilty of? Wanting something that he thinks is better. that's not you can't criticise Arteta for that. And I do feel that there has been a bit of a media pile-on here to say he's got it wrong. He's wrong to do this. He's wrong to do that. I've heard certain pundits saying it's wrong how he's treated Ramsdale. It's wrong. And not the same way Ramsdale's dad's saying it. I think Ramsdale's dad's saying that Ramsdale's not been told he's number 2. He's just found himself as number 2. And maybe Arteta should have had that conversation. But what the pundits are saying is that, and some fans are saying, well, he's wrong to go with Raya because Ramsdale deserves to have the spot. It's not fair. Well, look, in football, if you want to win things, fairness doesn't come into it. And Arteta is the manager, and the manager must be allowed to manage. And these same pundits will sit there the next week saying such and such is wrong to challenge the manager because the manager's got to manage. But then they'll sit there and go, he's wrong to go with Raya over Ramsdale. There's a hypocrisy there. Arteta will be sacked as Arsenal manager if he gets lots of decisions wrong. But if he wants to be successful, he must make the decisions he wants to make. He came in, he got rid of Ozil and Aubameyang, and he was absolutely praised for that. Now, he bought Ramsdale. If he now thinks that Ramsdale's not the right goalkeeper and he brings another one in, it's brave, it's ruthless, it's harsh on Ramsdale, but ultimately Arteta is being the best version of himself. It's a huge call. I said it in the summer. It is a huge call. I don't think Ramsdale was a problem for Arsenal. I think he should be England's number 1. But as soon as they brought Raya in, I said, that's Ramsdale done. Unless Raya messes up, that's Ramsdale done, because that is a clear indication to Ramsdale that Arteta wants to change his goalkeeper. And it was harsh and it was ruthless, but a manager must be allowed to manage. He must be allowed to manage. It's no different. I think it's very similar, actually. I think Ramsdale, Joe Hart, similar. English, very good goalkeepers, replaced by foreign goalkeepers, or foreign doesn't even come into it. It's just a manager going, I think I can get a better goalkeeper. And that's what Arteta has done. So look, I've got no problem. I'm very interested to see what the comments here. There's 2 or 3 factors. One, should Aaron Ramsdale's dad be speaking about it? I don't think there's a problem with that in the modern day. I don't know whether you'll get any sympathy from it. I don't know whether it does Aaron Ramsdale any favours, but he's got a right to speak. 2, is the pile on to Arteta from the media fair? I don't think it is. I think he's made a decision, and I think it's very obvious, and he should be backed on that. And 3, I suppose the big one is Arteta right to do what he's done? And I would say yes. Sometimes a decision is made, and a natural decision, a right decision is made, and there are casualties and benefactors. And in this, Ramsdale is a casualty, and those around him have to protect him. In this, Raya is a beneficiary, and it's not his fault. He's been brought into Arsenal on opportunity. Ultimately, Arteta will be judged on it. But I think he's earned the right to be trusted by Arsenal fans, and I think he's earned the right not to have a pile-on from the media, which is what we've seen for the last few months because he's dropped an England keeper. It's just maturity. It's maturity. We've all got a right to say whether it's right or wrong. I want Ramsdale to be England number 1. He can't be sat on the bench at Arsenal. I think he needs a move. I think he does need to go and get a move ASAP, and I think he will. And then hopefully he can get his career back on track. But I do understand why Arteta's done it. They're very different goalkeepers, and only an idiot can't see why he's done it. He's obviously thinks that Raya is a more expressive, expansive, modern goalkeeper than Ramsdale, and that's why he's done it. And he obviously thinks that Raya suits the way he wants to play better than Ramsdale. You can disagree with that, but that's why Arteta's done it. He's not done it because he's woke up one morning and gone, this will be great fun to piss Ramsdale off and all the English fans, I'm going to go and get Raya. He's done it because he thinks it will benefit Arsenal. And that's where I think the pile-on is a little bit unfair from the media, because he will lose his job if things go wrong like this. But I think he's earned the right over the last few years, the way he's rebuilt Arsenal to being a title contender for the first time in 15 years, I think he's earned the right to make these decisions, and I think people should back him on it. Get your comments in. Smash a like on the video. Let me know what you think. I'll speak to you on the next one.